Hi team. Today in this video I'm going to go through and try to make a Mancala board like you see here. This is just one I found. Mostly I did a Google search and then ended up finding this image which is on Amazon, and I'm noticing it's just carved out of wood, and that's something that I know we can make here at school, and so from this, I'm going to take this idea and I'm going to go and model it in OnShape so I can be closer to ready to actually making it. Okay, so I'm going to be flipping back and forth between these two things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a sketch, and I'm going to do so on this top plane so I can kind of see it from the top down. I like to keep my orientation correct. And I'm noticing it's mostly rectangular, so I'm just going to take a look at my part, and it kind of looks like I have about somewhere around 10 inches by about 6 inches, and none of my dimensions need to be perfect. If I had one in front of me, I would definitely be measuring. I guess it's 18 inches, so it's closer to 9 inches, and so I'm going to make mine about 6 inches by 9 inches, and if it's not quite right, I can always make adjustments from there. So I'm going to make mine 9 inches because I'm going to do the same thing they did. They have 2 halves, so I'm going to go 9 inches, and let's see how 6 inches looks there, if that's about proportional. That maybe a little long. I'm going to switch that to 5. There we go. That seems to be the correct proportions. It's mine. I get to pick what the dimensions are, so that should be all good. And I know it seems a little soon, but I'm actually going to extrude this because I'm going to make those cuts and changes and all that later on. I'm going to cut or make this a certain size, and I know that it's very easy for me to find oak or any other hardwoods in what's called 4/4. The thing is, after we plane it down, we get it smooth and everything, it tends to be closer to 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to make mine 3/4 of an inch. You can type in math there, or you can, if you want, type in the decimal equivalent, which would be 0.75. Okay, looking good so far. I'm noticing that my example is rounded on these corners, and so that's easy to do with the router. And so what I can actually do is I'm going to add in my fillet tool. So I've got what's called a fillet, and it creates a round, either an inside or outside corner. And a radius, I'm going to pick maybe 0.25. And it looks like a pretty large radius. I know that a 1/4 inch radius should be pretty easy to do. And so what I'm going to do is select all those edges that are going to be rounded off. Those would be the ones that kind of disappear. So we're pretty close to that outer shape of it so far. Kind of got these rounded corners. Looking at it from a bunch of different directions, that looks pretty close. And again, it's mine, so I get to make up any of these requirements anyway. But they're pretty close to the outer shape of it. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try to make that inner shape going on. So I'm going to make a new sketch right here up on the top, and I'm going to then select it. I don't need those default planes, that geometry, so I'm going to go ahead and hide it. All I need is my sketch plane so I know exactly where I'm working. From there, I get to draw in very, very roughly the shape that we want. So I've got, let's see, on each side there's 6 different rectangles and then a big one like this. So let's see, I've got the large one there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and once you know it, 6. You may have noticed that I've made all of these different sizes. They don't line up at all, but that's okay because I can use my constraints for this. I'm going to see, can I get one line to line up with the other one? Yeah, so all of these are coincident with each other. So I'm using my coincident constraint here. I've got the top as well already lined up there. Let's see. This line should line up with that one, no problem. This line should line up with that one, of course. This one with that, this one with that. Keep on going, and that's pretty good. Oh, don't forget, these lines should all line up as well. So I'm just using my coincident constraint to tell the computer, well, all these things should line up. I also want them to all be the same size. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, this is equal with this one, which is also equal with that one. And there we go. Going off a little bit, but that's okay. I also think I want these square. Let's see. So that one and that one line up. This one, already true. So let's see. Those look all constrained pretty well. But I need to give some linear, some dimensions this way. And often I will not really care about the size inside, but I'm really thinking about, okay, what is the location from the side for all of these. So I'm going to go ahead and put in and make it even. Just add in that same dimension. Maybe, let's see, what's the this? Oh, 3/4 of an inch is probably pretty accurate. So again, I can make that dimension from here to here, 0.75. Maybe I don't like it. I think maybe 0.625, that's 5/8 of an inch. That's looking a little more close to correct. A couple of my squares kind of moved over, so what I'm going to do is move them straight over. Just click and drag. I got out of my tool. And I think these, we really want to have, let's see, what's the dimension there? That's a little bit smaller than this. So I'd say about 1/2 of an inch right there. So I'm going to, go into my other tab, and I'm going to make this one 1/2 of an inch. Let's see. Now I can kind of look and see, well, there seems to be about 1/2 of an inch between all these, so I can put those dimensions in there as well. And I'm going to see, I always have the opportunity to change what I have. Oh, that made it weird, so undo one time. And maybe I make these just slightly bigger. Let's see what happens right there. Oh, I'm forgetting. What if I do make those equal? Oh, this is all locked in, and those are not quite the size that I truly want them to be. Let's see. Can I change this one to maybe delete a dimension or two and see if I can get these to be, let's see, what if I did 1 inch? Oh, that's getting closer. And so, we got 1 inch, we've got 1/2 and 1/2. Really want to try to make that, let's see, 0.625. What would that do? And maybe if we make that 0.625, and again, I'm just kind of trying stuff out. 625. And that's looking pretty good, actually. We've got some good spacing around and a good, move me back down, good fully constrained sketch. I think that's going to work. All right. So I'm actually going to take that, look at it from the side, extrude it. This time I'm going to cut all these holes out, and this time I'm not going to go 1 inch. I'm going to flip that direction. I'm going to remove, and it's going to be 1/2 of 0.75 is 0.375, and if I forget that, I can do the fraction as well. And now I've got these squares, but what I really like, I like these rounded just a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is go back to that fillet tool. I'm going to take a look again. Yeah, this kind of rounded in all different directions, and I know that I can get a 3/8 round over bit. And there's actually bits that can make that, router bits that can make that. And so I'm going to do a radius of 3/16 of an inch, and that is 0.188. So I'm going to select all these edges. You'll notice they kind of can blend together, and right-clicking and dragging to be able to select all of these and keep going, and going. And this is kind of a tedious part right there, but that's okay. Making this board exactly the way I want it to be. And let's see, keep going. Can I select? Oh, there we go. We can select that, and that's kind of speeding things up. But then I still have to select all the verticals as well. And this is just that it matches my bit. We've got different tools. And there's ones that are rounded on the bottom like that. And so there we go. We've got it almost, not that one. So I can click again once I click on an incorrect one, or I can select that last thing in the list and hopefully, oh yeah, so face of extrude, let's see, there we go, that's better. So I can keep clicking, and go all the way around, quite nearly there, and almost to the end of my video limit as well. I'm racing against the clock here, trying to show this all the way. Okay, perfect. There we go. There is a great fillet tool. Everything's rounded. That's going to be a good thing. Then, one last thing before I can call this all good. I can actually do what's called a mirror. And so I want the same thing again. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a part mirror. I'm going to make sure it's new. I'm going to have this part selected, and then my mirror plane is this guy right over here. And I'm making sure that even if it flips over, I want it to be a new part, like so. And all of a sudden, I've got both of my full Mancala board. I can put in a little hinge in the middle there, and there we go. We've got the model for our Mancala board right there. No big